Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most surprising and valuable pennies ever, the 1969 D Lincoln penny, a coin that could be sitting in your pocket right now, worth a life-changing $1.30 million. Now, before you roll your eyes and think, yeah right, my pennies are only good for scratching lottery tickets, hear me out. This little copper beauty has made collectors go wild, and if you're lucky enough to find one, you might just hit the jackpot. So, grab your coin jars, dump out that spare change, and let's uncover the mystery of this $1 million penny. Alright, let's start with a little history. The 1969 D Lincoln penny was struck at the Denver Mint, which you can tell by the small D mint mark right under the year. Most of these pennies are just your standard copper coins, but a few rare ones have something special that makes them insanely valuable. So, what's the big deal? Well, this penny has a super rare error known as a double die obverse. Sounds fancy, right? Basically, the design was stamped twice, creating a doubling effect on Lincoln's face, the date, and the word liberty. If you spot this error, congratulations, you might be sitting on a fortune. Now, let's talk numbers. Most 1969 D pennies are only worth face value, but if you find one with this rare doubling, buckle up. The last auction for a high-grade double-die penny sold for a whopping $1.3 million. That's enough to buy a house, a car, and still have some left over for all the snacks you could ever dream of. Okay, but how do I know if my 1969 D penny is the one? If you see what looks like a shadowy second imprint, that's a good sign. Some errors look like doubling but are actually just damage. A true double die is crisp and clear. This specific error is found on Denver minted pennies, so make sure that little d is there. If you think you've got one, do not clean it. Cleaning coins can lower their value. Instead, get it authenticated by a professional coin grading service. Now, let me tell you a quick personal story. A few years back, I found an old jar of pennies in my grandma's attic. I got super excited, thinking I had just discovered the holy grail of rare coins. I went through them one by one, squinting under a magnifying glass, heart pounding. Then, boom! I found a 1969 penny. I thought I was rich. I was already planning my dream vacation. But I missed one crucial detail: it didn't have the Denver D mint mark. It was just a regular old penny. Always check the details carefully. Rare coins are out there, but you've got to know what to look for. So, let's say you find a 1969 D Lincoln penny with doubling. First, take a deep breath. Then, follow these steps. Don't clean it. Cleaning damages the surface and kills its value. Use a magnifying glass to confirm the doubling. Get it authenticated by a reputable coin grading company like PCGS or NGC. Auction it. Rare pennies like this sell for top dollar at coin auctions, so reach out to a coin dealer or auction house. Conclusion. Alright, folks, that's the crazy story of the 1969 D Lincoln penny worth $1.3 million. Who knew a tiny copper coin could be worth more than a mansion? These valuable coins are still out there, waiting to be discovered. So, go check your piggy banks, search those couch cushions, and start looking through your loose change. And if you love learning about rare and valuable coins, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I drop new videos every week about hidden treasures in your pocket change, coin hunting tips, and strategies to turn spare change into serious cash. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this video, and drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin or if you're about to start searching. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, where we talk about pocket change that could change your life. Today, we've got a wild one, the 2020 D Lincoln penny that's worth a whopping $1.4 million. Yeah, you heard that right. A penny. Worth more than a mansion in some places. Before you start tearing up your couch cushions or raiding your piggy bank, let me break it all down for you. We'll cover why this coin is so valuable, what to look for, and how you can turn your everyday pocket change into serious cash. Stick around because I've got a crazy personal story about finding a rare coin where I least expected it. And hey, if you love money, and let's be real, who doesn't? Make sure to subscribe so you never miss a chance to learn about coins worth serious money. Alright, let's get into it. So, let's start with the basics. The 2020 D Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, as the D mint mark suggests. Now, normally, this penny is just another shiny little piece of copper-plated zinc that gets lost in your car's cup holder. But not this one. Great question. There are actually a few key reasons. Some 2020 D pennies were struck with dramatic die errors, making them one-of-a-kind collectibles. These could include things like double die outbursts, off-center strikes, or a misplaced mint mark. Collectors go wild for these. A coin has to be in top-notch condition, we're talking MS69 or MS70, basically flawless, to hit that kind of value. If your penny looks like it went through a blender, sorry, but it's probably just 1 cent sometimes. A perfect storm of rarity, collector hype, and market demand can drive a coin's price through the roof. This is exactly what happened with the 2020 D Lincoln penny. Now, before you start inspecting every penny under a microscope, here's what you need to check. If the D looks off, tilted, or even doubled, you might have a rare variety. Look for things like missing letters, ghost images, or anything that makes your penny look like it had a rough day at the mint. Condition. If it's shiny and free of scratches, or that's the official way to know if it's worth big bucks. My personal penny hunting story. Okay, so let me tell you about the time I almost threw away a valuable coin. A couple of years ago, I was doing laundry, and as I was pulling change out of my pockets, I nearly tossed a 1969 penny into the coin jar. But something about it looked different. Turns out, it was a double die obverse, worth over $10,000. Always check your change. You never know when you might have a hidden gem. The 2020 D Lincoln penny worth $1.4 million is real, but only under very specific conditions. Look for errors, high grades, and unique features, because those could mean the difference between 1 cent and life-changing money. Go check your pockets, your car, your couch cushions, and even that old coin jar. Who knows? You might be sitting on a fortune, and if you love this kind of content, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I'll keep bringing you insane coin finds, tips, and tricks to help you turn your pocket change into real money. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we turn spare change into serious cash. Imagine this: you're digging through an old jar of pennies, thinking it's just pocket change, and boom, you spot a 1982 penny with no mint mark, and it turns out to be worth $1.5 million. Yeah, right. My pennies are only good for annoying the cashier at the gas station. But hold up, some of these little copper coins are absolute gold mines. And today, we're diving deep into the 1982 no mint mark Lincoln penny, why it's worth a fortune, and how you can check if you're sitting on a jackpot. So grab your coin jar, because by the end of this video, you might just be richer than you think. Back when big hair and neon leg warmers ruled the world. That year, the US Mint made a pretty big change to the penny. Before 1982, pennies were 95% copper, but thanks to rising metal costs, the mint started switching over to a cheaper zinc core with a thin copper coating. That's right, your pennies today are basically just copper-plated imposters, but here's where it gets crazy. In 1982, the mint was cranking out both copper and zinc pennies at the same time, and they made a few big mistakes along the way. Some pennies were struck without a mint mark, which is usually a sign they came from Philadelphia. But here's the kicker: not all Philadelphia pennies were created equal. The rarest of them all? A 1982 no mint mark Lincoln penny with a small date struck on a copper planchet. This particular error penny has sold for an eye-watering $1.5 million at auction. Now, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was helping my grandpa clean out his old desk drawer. He had a tin can full of pennies, like hundreds of them. I was just flipping through them, looking for anything old, when I spotted a 1982 penny that looked different. My heart started racing. Could this be the one? I grabbed a small kitchen scale, weighed it, and nope. It was just a regular zinc penny. My millionaire dreams were crushed. If I almost found one, that means you might too. So here's how to check your 1982 pennies to see if you've got the big one. Look for the small date. The rare penny has a small, compact 1982 where the numbers are closer together and less stretched out. Check the weight. Regular zinc pennies weigh 2.5 grams, but the rare copper penny weighs 3.1 grams. Use a sensitive digital scale, your kitchen scale won't cut it. Confirm no mint mark. This means there's no D, no S, just a clean 1982. If your penny checks all 3 boxes, congratulations, you could be looking at a life-changing payday. And even if you don't find the $1 million penny, don't be discouraged. Other 1982 errors and varieties still sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. The key is to always check your change, so, the next time someone tells you pennies are worthless, just smile and think about that one tiny cent that sold for $1.5 million. You never know, the next lucky find could be yours. Now, if you enjoyed this video and want more coin hunting secrets, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I'll be bringing you more crazy valuable coin finds, tips on what to look for, and how to sell your rare coins for top dollar. And hey, if you've ever found a rare coin or just love the thrill of the hunt, drop a comment below and share your story. Let's keep the coin collecting community strong and rich, literally. Hey, coin hunters! Ever dreamt of finding $1 million penny in your pocket? Well, today, we're talking about a simple, everyday coin that could secretly be worth a fortune, the 1964 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. Yep, this little copper beauty has turned heads in the numismatic world, with a current market value of up to $1.60 million. Before you run to check your piggy bank, stick with me because we're breaking down why this penny is so valuable, how to spot a rare one, and what you should do if you find one. Plus, I'll share a personal story about the time I thought I had a jackpot coin, but, well, let's just say things didn't go as planned. 1964 pennies were struck in Philadelphia if they have no mint mark. That's normal. But here's the kicker, some of these pennies were minted with errors or special variations that make them insanely valuable. It's just a penny. How can it be worth more than my car? Well, my friend, that's the magic of rare coins. Some of these pennies have unique errors, high-quality strikes, or historical significance that send collectors into a bidding frenzy. Alright, let's talk mistakes. In the coin world, errors equal big bucks. Here are the key things that make a 1964 penny go from pocket change to a collector's dream. If the letters on the front, especially Liberty or the date, look doubled, you might be holding gold, figuratively, of course. If the design is way off-center, collectors love it. The more dramatic the shift, the higher the value. Ever seen a coin with weird raised lines or blobs? That's a die break, and certain ones make a 1964 penny extremely valuable. If your penny still looks fresh, bright red, and untouched, it could fetch insane prices. Now, let's talk numbers. The most valuable 1964 no-mint mark penny was graded MS67 plus RD and sold for a whopping $1.6 million at auction. Why? Because it was in pristine condition with perfect luster, making it ultra-rare. To put this in perspective, most 1964 pennies are only worth their face value. But if you find one in mint condition with an error, you could be looking at thousands or even millions. Speaking of crazy finds, let me tell you about the time I thought I had a winner. I was at a flea market, and this old guy was selling a jar of pennies for $5. My collector instincts kicked in, and I thought, this is it. My big break. I took them home, squinted at every single one under a magnifying glass, and found a double die penny. Heart racing, I sent it off for grading, only to get it back with a note that said, artificial toning, cleaned, value, $1. Yup. Turns out someone had polished the penny, and that ruined its value. Lesson learned, folks, never clean your coins. If you have a 1964 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, check it carefully. Look for errors, get it graded if it looks special, and never ever clean it. Who knows? You could be holding onto a $1.6 million jackpot now. Before you rush off to inspect your loose change, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. I've got plenty more videos coming on rare coins, valuable finds, and coin collecting strategies that could make you some serious cash. Don't miss out. Hey there, coin hunters. Imagine checking your spare change and finding a penny worth not one, not two, but $1.8 million. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, it's not. Today, we're talking about the 1970 Lincoln penny, a tiny copper coin that could turn your pocket change into a jackpot. It's just a penny. How could it be worth that much? That's exactly what we're going to dive into today. We'll talk about why this coin is so valuable, what makes it special, and how you can spot one in your collection. And stick around, because I'll also share a hilarious story about the time I almost spent a valuable coin without realizing it. Spoiler alert, I almost cried. So, the 1970 penny was minted in Denver, hence the little d below the date. Over 2 billion of these were made, which means they're everywhere, right? Well, not exactly. There are a few rare error versions of this penny that make it ridiculously valuable. The most famous one? The doubled die obverse. This means some of the design on the front, like Lincoln's face or the words Liberty and In God We Trust, was accidentally stamped twice. A simple mistake by the mint, but a huge win for collectors. Now, here's where it gets even crazier. Some of these pennies were accidentally struck on Canadian penny blanks, which means they have a slightly different metal composition. These rare ones are what can fetch up to $1.8 million at auctions. Now, before you start emptying your piggy bank all over the floor, here's what to look for: it should have a small D under the date. No D? It's from a different mint and not the one we're talking about. Check the lettering. If Liberty or 1970 looks a little fuzzy or doubled, you might have something special. Weight check. A regular penny from 1970 should weigh about 3.11 grams. If yours feels a little off, it might be one of the rare Canadian blank versions. The shinier and cleaner the coin, the more valuable it can be. A worn-out one is still worth more than a cent, but a mint condition one? That's where the big bucks are. Now, let me tell you about the time I almost lost a valuable coin. I was at a gas station, digging through my car for spare change, classic broke moment. I found an old penny and thought, just another one. Right before I handed it to the cashier, something clicked. 1970D. My coin-loving instincts kicked in. I held it up to the light, and boom, doubled die. My heart stopped. I immediately swapped it for a regular penny and ran back to my car like I had just robbed a bank. Fast forward to today, that penny is sitting safely in my collection. It wasn't the $1.8 million one, but it was still worth a couple $100, way more than a gallon of gas. So, what did we learn today? Check your pennies. That little copper coin in your pocket could be hiding a small fortune. Look for the 1970D mint mark, check for doubling, and if you find one, hold on to it. Now, if you love learning about coins worth big money, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I drop videos like this all the time, helping you turn spare change into serious cash. And hey, hit that like button if you've ever almost spent a valuable coin like I did. Let's laugh, or cry, together. Alright, picture this: you're digging through your car's cup holder, looking for some spare change for a vending machine snack. You pull out a handful of pennies and boom, one of them looks kinda old, a little different. You think, meh, just another penny. But wait. What if I told you that one of those pennies could be worth over $1 million? Yep, you heard me right today. We're talking about the 2002 Lincoln penny. Yeah, that little copper-colored coin that most people ignore. But this isn't just any penny. Some rare versions of this coin are selling for a jaw-dropping $1.1 million. How can you tell if you've got a fortune sitting in your change jar? And most importantly, why am I suddenly feeling the urge to check under my couch cushions? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, and who knows, you might just be holding on to your very own jackpot penny. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's just a penny, how could it possibly be worth $1 million? Great question. The answer lies in a little thing called mint errors and rare variations. Back in 2002, the Denver Mint produced billions of these pennies. Most were just your everyday pocket change. But a very few, came out with mistakes that make collectors go absolutely crazy. A coin gets struck twice by the press, leaving a weird, ghostly-looking image. Or maybe it's made from the wrong material, like an old weak penny. These errors are like typos in a book, except instead of making your high school English teacher mad, they make coin collectors willing to pay insane amounts of money. This is when the design is slightly doubled. Look closely at Lincoln's face, the date, or the lettering. If anything looks shadowy or blurry, congratulations. You might be onto something big. If your penny looks like it got stamped while someone sneezed, leaving part of the design off the edge, that's a rare error too. In rare cases, a penny is mistakenly struck on a nickel or even a silver planchet. If it looks too shiny or different in weight, get it checked. No mint mark oddities. While most of these pennies have a bold D mint mark under the date, some rare ones are missing it entirely, making them extremely valuable. Point 3. A real-life penny jackpot story now. Let me tell you a quick story about a guy who almost threw away his $1 million penny. Was sorting through his change when he noticed a weird-looking 2002 penny. Instead of tossing it aside, he decided to take a closer look. Turns out, it had a rare double die error and was struck on the wrong metal. He took it to an auction, and guess what? It sold for $1.1 million. I can just imagine the look on his face when he found out. Probably a mix of shocked, thrilled, and seriously regretting every penny he ever spent on gum instead of saving. Moral of the story? Never underestimate a humble little penny. Alright, now for the important part: how can you check if you have one of these rare pennies? Here's what you do. Yes, you'll look like a detective, but trust me, it helps. check for doubling, misprints, and mint mark oddities. A regular penny should weigh 2.5 grams. If yours is heavier or lighter, that could mean it was struck on the wrong planchet. If your penny looks too silvery or goldish, that's a red flag. A good red flag, though, look at past sales of rare 2002D pennies to compare your coin's features. If you think you've got something special, send it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. These pros can authenticate it and tell you if it's worth serious money. So, let's say you do find one of these $1 million pennies, what next? Big collectors search these sites daily. A quick way to get an expert's opinion. Network with serious collectors willing to drop big cash. Get your penny officially graded, then sell it for maximum value. If you sell a penny for $1 million, please, at least buy yourself a steak dinner. You earned it. The 2002D Lincoln penny, proof that even the smallest things can be worth a fortune. Next time you find a penny on the ground, don't just walk past it. Pick it up, flip it over, and take a good look. It might just be your golden ticket. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever found an unusual coin in your pocket change? Drop a comment below. I read them all. And if you enjoyed this video and want more tips on rare and valuable coins, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. I post videos every week about the hidden treasures hiding in plain sight. Who knows? Your next coin might just be worth millions. Hey, coin lovers! Have you ever found a penny lying on the ground and thought, "Meh, just another 1-cent piece?" Well, what if I told you that one of those little copper coins could actually be worth a whopping $1.2 million? That's right, today, we're talking about the 1989 no mint mark Lincoln penny, a coin that looks ordinary but could turn your pocket change into a fortune. Now, before you go flipping over every penny in your collection, let's break down what makes this one so valuable. Because trust me, not every 1989 penny is a jackpot, but if you find the right one, you're in for a life-changing surprise. So grab your magnifying glass, check those coin jars, and let's dive into the world of rare pennies. Alright, let's start with the basics. The 1989 Lincoln penny was minted in massive numbers, over 7 billion were made. But here's where things get interesting. Some of these pennies were struck with an error or rare variation that makes them incredibly valuable. Typically, pennies struck at the Philadelphia Mint don't have a mint mark. But in rare cases, the minting process created unusual errors that collectors go crazy for. Some 1989 pennies have a doubling effect on the date, lettering, or Lincoln's portrait. This means if you look closely at the words Liberty or In God We Trust, you might see a slightly duplicated image. If you do, cha-ching! You've got a winner. If your penny looks like it was struck off balance, meaning part of the design is missing or shifted, that's another potential jackpot. The best way to make big money off a 1989 penny is to have one in mint condition. A flawless, uncirculated coin graded MS67 or higher can be worth serious cash. How much is a 1989 no mint mark penny worth? The part that makes this whole thing exciting, a lightly circulated one? Maybe a few bucks, but a rare error penny or one graded MS67 plus? We're talking thousands, even up to $1.2 million for an ultra-rare variation, and yes, people have actually sold rare Lincoln pennies at auction for these mind-blowing prices. Imagine turning a single penny into a house, a car, or a dream vacation. Not bad for something most people overlook, right? Embarrassing story. A while back, I got super into coin hunting. I spent weeks going through every penny I had, convinced I was about to find my golden ticket. One day, I thought I had struck gold. I found a 1989 no mint mark penny with a weird-looking 9 in the date. My heart was racing. I could already picture myself living like a millionaire then. I sent it in for grading. Turns out, it was just a regular penny that had been in someone's pocket too long. Yeah, devastating. But hey, lesson learned. You've got to know what to look for and get the right experts involved. Not all pennies are just pennies. The 1989 no mint mark Lincoln penny could be worth a life-changing amount of money, but you've got to check for those special details. Errors, doubling, and condition are everything. Now, here's my challenge to you: go check your penny collection. You never know what treasure might be hiding in plain sight. And if you do find something rare, drop a comment below and let us know. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more coin hunting tips, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any valuable finds. Who knows? The next video might be the one that helps you discover a coin worth millions.